Number 2. First trumpets, F sharps. Can you find measure 37? Okay. Look at the key. Look at the key. Is it right on the? Yep. 37 in 3. Find 19. 19.
When I first got here as a student, it was really the culture that I experienced when I came up here. People just included everybody. That's including the professors. The professors want you to interact with them, and they want to get to know you.
In high school, I always really liked math and science classes, and so I knew engineering was a career path that I wanted to follow. Iowa State was kind of the natural option for me to lean towards.
I was so happy to be at Iowa State. It was a beautiful campus. It kind of felt like a dream to me. I got to have a lot of fun exploring the buildings around Iowa State and getting to hear the bells and the caroling.
My family has been very involved in my education, which I really appreciated. My parents and my grandma come out to visit me multiple times every year, and it's nice that this has kind of become my home away from home, and that I can have the people from home be a part of that as well.
Being here, I've really come to appreciate what Iowa State has to offer for engineering, as well as the student life. I've just really had a good time here exploring the campus and learning a lot about electrical engineering.
How could I ever begin to describe it? I've never felt this way before.
Leadership has been something that I've always been passionate about, and I think that's also another reason that I chose business. I love to lead people and help them in any way. So definitely coming into college, my leadership journey was your leader is someone who's in power. Now, after going through college, taking all the classes, learning everything, it's really about how to be a servant leader, how to help people.
Some of my favorite experiences that I've done are being able to go on club trips, and some of my study abroad experiences is I got to go into this food industry and look at how things are made. It just made me more excited about my major and going into the food industry because we get to make food for the whole world.
I studied abroad twice. First, I did a semester in South Korea, and then I also did a summer in Germany. Well, I didn't really know much about South Korea until I got there. That really gave me the opportunity to explore and learn a lot about different cultures.
We played Oklahoma State my freshman year, 2021, and it was here at Jack Trice Stadium. And just the atmosphere that day was very special. It was a moment that I would never forget. Obviously, the game was close and we ended up winning, and the fans stormed the field, and the students were asking for pictures, and there was nothing but joy.
My great-grandmother, which I didn't know when I was choosing college, she graduated 100 years ago from Iowa State. I'm gonna wear a ring that she had with the 1924 pendant on it. I'm gonna wear that at graduation, so I think that's gonna be really cool to kind of honor that.
Since I have a very science-heavy major, I'll take classes like cooking classes, art classes. So I got involved with Horticulture Club on campus, and then also Ryman Gardens has a student discount for classes. So I get to like arrange flowers every month.
I played piano when I was little and always loved playing piano, and one of my friends had been playing the carillon for her entire college career, and she offered to take me up into the campanile when she was practicing. I was not expecting the carillon to look like it does. It's basically a set of really big levers that are arranged in a piano. It was fun to kind of mishmash my previous experience playing piano and a little bit of percussion.
Being a TA has really helped me develop those interpersonal skills, those soft skills, connecting with other students and helping teach, as well as learning and taking feedback and giving feedback.
I feel like I've grown a lot in not only what I've learned through my classes, but all the different experiences I've been able to have at Iowa State.
To be a Cyclone, I feel like, to me, means that you're doing everything in your power to keep learning, keep growing.
They're very self-driven.
Being yourself and being able to grow and learn.
Open to all different walks of life. There are so many different people with different personalities, different perspectives.
Being part of a community that wants you to grow.
Going out of your way to help people when they need it.
Iowa State has a lot of opportunities. Taking advantage of those opportunities that are given to you is what I'm most proud of and how I went through college at Iowa State.
Even though I was involved in so many things, I'm really proud of how I was able to handle everything, but still enjoy college.
One word to describe my time here at Iowa State is curiosity.
Impactful.
I'd say rewarding.
Growth. I've definitely changed a lot from who I was the first day I stepped onto campus to who I am now.
I think just wonderful. I've been able to meet wonderful people, gain a lot of experiences I didn't expect.
My family's meant so much to me and where I've gotten to today because they've allowed me to be the person I am. They're very proud of me, and it makes me be able to push every day and keep going.
I just want to give a special thank you to my mom. She passed away recently. She was always my #1 fan.
Definitely want to say thank you to my parents, thank you to my grandparents especially. They've been super supportive of this journey.
I'd like to thank my parents as well as the advisor for Food Science Club.
I want to say thank you to my parents, my grandma, my boyfriend.
I'd have to thank my dad for being a great resource in helping me figure out all the new situations.
I would like to say thank you to my family, specifically my grandma. I don't think I'd be here today without her.
Iowa State has equipped me with all the skills, knowledge, and experience that I need and I know will help me succeed in my career. I'm confident that I'll be able to do well with the background and the foundation I've had.
Good afternoon. Iowa State University is pleased and honored to welcome the family and friends of our graduates to the Fall 2024 Undergraduate Commencement Ceremony here in Hilton Coliseum. Today's commencement ceremony recognizes recent graduates in Iowa State University's proud 166-year history of academic achievement, excellence, and service. The procession will begin with the presentation of the college banners by each college's student marshal, who will be accompanied by the dean and the student's university escort. The presentation of the college banners will be followed by the processional of our undergraduate candidates for graduation, who will process in as members of the delegations of their respective colleges. Members of the assembly may remain seated during the processional. At this time, it is our privilege to present to you Madison Vetter, student marshal for the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences. Madison is accompanied by her university escort, Sarah Wenner, and by Dean Daniel Robeson. It is our privilege to present to you Emily Matulak, student marshal for the Ivy College of Business. Emily is accompanied by her university escort, Bruce Kraft, and by Dean David Spalding. It is our privilege to present to you Kushi Jan, student marshal for the College of Design. Kushi is accompanied by her university escort, Ayodele Ianulu, and by Dean Luis Rico Gutierrez. It is our privilege to present to you Katie Wolf, student marshal for the College of Engineering. Katie is accompanied by her university escort, Dr. Henry Douay, and by Dean Samuel Easterling. It is our privilege to present to you Cameron Mosty, student marshal for the College of Health and Human Sciences. Cameron is accompanied by her university escort, Emily Worrell, and by Dean Laura Jolly. It is our privilege to present to you Madeline Becker, Student Marshal for the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. Madeline is accompanied by her university escort, Darren Wolgamuth, and by Dean Benjamin Withers. At this time, it is our privilege to present to you undergraduate candidates for graduation from Iowa State University. Signaling the official beginning of our commencement ceremony, the University Mace, carried by Chief Faculty Marshal Dr. Robert Wallace, precedes President Wendy Winterstein. We ask that the candidates for graduation and the members of the Assembly to please rise as you are able for the procession of the members of the Iowa State University academic community, led by President Dr. Wendy Winterstein. And now, the presentation of colors by the Army Reserve Officer Training Corps Color Guard. Iowa State University is very pleased to introduce Allie Pauley as the Fall 2024 Undergraduate Commencement Student Vocalist. Ms. Pauley will sing our national anthem.
In singing our national anthem.
Twilight's last gleaming, whose white stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in
Please be seated. Graduates, family, and friends, I am pleased to introduce Dr. Wendy Winterstein, President of Iowa State University.
Good afternoon. I'm very pleased to welcome you to Iowa State University's Fall 2024 Undergraduate Commencement Ceremony. At this time, I'd like to introduce the members of the Platform Party. I ask that they please stand and remain standing until all introductions are made. Ms. Kim Ryan, President and Chief Executive Officer of Hillenbrand and Commencement Speaker. Dr. Jason Keith, Senior Vice President and Provost. President Sherry Bates, Iowa Board of Regents. Regent Robert Kramer, Iowa Board of Regents. Regent Christine Hensley, Iowa Board of Regents. Dr. Toya Younger, Senior Vice President for Student Affairs. Dr. Sean Reeder, Vice President for Operations and Finance. Dr. Peter Dorhout, Vice President for Research. Dr. Megan Gillette, Associate Teaching Professor for Human Development and Family Studies and Faculty Senate President-elect. Dr. Jeffrey Johnson, Laura and Russ Talbot, Endowed President and Chief Executive Officer of the Iowa State Alumni Association. Dr. Anne-Marie Vanderzanden, Associate Provost for Academic Programs. Mr. Luis Rico Gutierrez, Dean of the College of Design. Mr. David Spalding, Vice President for Economic Development and Industry Relations, and David and Ellen Raisbeck, Endowed Dean of the Ivy College of Business. Dr. Laura Jolly, Dean and Dean's Chair of the College of Health and Human Sciences. Dr. Daniel Robeson, Endowed Dean's Chair of the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences. Dr. Samuel Easterling, James L. and Catherine S. Melsa, Endowed Dean of the College of Engineering. Dr. Benjamin Withers, Dean of the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. Dr. Daniel Grooms, Stephen G. Julesgaard, Endowed Dean of the College of Veterinary Medicine. Ms. Hilary Zao, Dean of Library Sciences. Dr. Jennifer Sukon, University Registrar. The faculty marshals for today's commencement ceremony, led by longtime Chief Faculty Marshal, Dr. Robert Wallace, Associate Professor of Ecology, Evolution, and Organismal Biology. Please join me in recognizing them. You may be seated. On behalf of our university leaders, faculty, and staff, we are delighted to honor and celebrate our newest graduates of Iowa State University. Commencement is the most important and significant ceremony that our university holds. For our graduates, it represents the culmination of years of hard work, focused study, perseverance, and personal growth. For family and friends, it's a time to share in the success of their graduate and to be recognized for the wonderful support and care they have provided through the years. And for Iowa State University, it represents the successful completion of our most important responsibility to society, providing a comprehensive education to prepare the next generation of scholars, innovators, and leaders. Graduates, you are joining a very special group of people who hold degrees from this renowned institution. We are so proud of you, and we know you will continue to bring great pride to Iowa State University. Congratulations to all of you. Now it is my pleasure to introduce the keynote speaker for this afternoon's undergraduate commencement ceremony. Kim Ryan is the President and Chief Executive Officer of Hillenbrand Incorporated, a global provider of highly engineered, mission-critical processing equipment and systems to customers in over 100 countries. Since becoming CEO in 2021, she has overseen the company's business transformation and portfolio, which today includes leading brands in the durable plastics, food, and recycling industries. Kim was raised in Ottumwa, Iowa, and received her undergraduate degree in accounting from Iowa State University in 1989. In college, she served as president and treasurer of Alpha Phi, was active in business clubs, and worked as auditor for local hotel chain. Today, Kim is proud supporter of the Ivy College of Business and has served on the Dean's Advisory Council since 2022. Kim is involved in various community and not-for-profit organizations and is the recipient of numerous awards. She was named to Cincinnati's Magazine's list of 300 most influential business leaders and the Indianapolis Business Journal's Indiana 250 most influential and impactful leaders for the past 3 years. Please welcome Kim Ryan.
Thank you, President Winterstein, and thanks to all of you for giving me the opportunity to come here. I'm terribly proud to have the opportunity to stand here before this great faculty, all of the loved ones who have come here to support them, and the latest generation of ISU alumni. I am a child of teachers. I grew up wanting to be a teacher. My parents steered me toward business, and Iowa State was the place to begin that path. My mom was an algebra and calculus teacher at Ottumwa High School in Ottumwa, Iowa. My calculus and algebra teacher. Super fun. My father was a professor at University of Northern Iowa who was also finishing his doctorate degree at the University of Iowa at the time I was making my college decision. So the only place where I could go to school, completely unsupervised, was here at Iowa State. And there you have it, my entire college selection process. But in hindsight, you always end up in exactly the place you're supposed to be. My parents are here today, and it's an incredible honor to recognize them before all of you and thank them for their wise guidance then and their continued support every day since then, as I have chased the dreams that were born here at this university. When I arrived here in 1985, I thought I knew who I was and what I wanted. I grew up in a small town where I'd lived my entire life. I grew up in the same community, with the same friends from grade school to high school. What I didn't realize was who I was going to become in the next chapter of my life here at ISU, or how high I could raise my sail once I left the safe harbor of familiar things like my family and friends and the university environment. I was very fortunate to find a university here at Iowa State that helped me to have the skills to be what I wanted to be, but what I also learned here was that the how was equally important. How you communicate, how you collaborate, how you cooperate, how you will evolve. When I came here, I wasn't a risk taker. I wasn't brave. I wasn't going to grab the microphone and put myself out there and tell everybody, hey, look at me. But I got involved in on-campus activities and business clubs and in the Greek system because Iowa State's culture encouraged us all to try things we had not done before, to learn to succeed, and sometimes to fail. Reference my tax accounting final my last semester here, which, as I think of it, may be new information for my parents today. But those experiences gave me the chance to practice my skills in this safe and quiet harbor and build up my confidence. When I came here, I was confident in my math skills, and I was good with numbers, and I liked being able to tell when performance was good or bad just by looking at the digits. Accounting would be the perfect major for me. I also found a part-time job that leveraged that skills. And I worked while I was here. I was at a front desk clerk and a night auditor at a local hotel, which shall remain nameless. I thought I would be able to keep my head down and not pay attention to whatever shenanigans were going on after 11 p.m. at a college hotel. But that is a whole different developmental experience for an entirely different day. But something else happened during that job. I found myself having to interact with people, not just my numbers, which was not comfortable. Checking guests in and out, professional men and women. While I used my know-how of numbers to get that first job, it unexpectedly forced me to talk to people and apply the social skills I was practicing and that I still use today as I interact with colleagues and customers. You may have guessed that I'm no longer afraid to speak in public anymore. At first, it was intimidating, but I really grew to enjoy it. To this day, I remind myself that every uncomfortable spot you find yourself in is an opportunity to learn and grow. And I hope that you carry that spirit into every job you go into in the years ahead. Instead of the person who arrived here in 1985, who would never have wanted the spotlight, I chose to surround myself with friends and classmates, people who helped me learn to take risks and overcome fear. After each new experience, I grew more confident in myself, and I really came to understand that my own fear of failure would kill more of my dreams than actual failure ever could. As you leave here today, off to start your new grown-up life, I challenge you to have enough faith or courage when you don't have that faith to try things you aren't ready for. Be resilient enough to bounce back when you fail, and you will, and strong enough to ask for help, advice, constructive feedback. I promise you that you will do better when you have a group around you who will cheer you on, who will challenge you, who will maybe even make a little bit of fun of you, who will celebrate with you and cry with you. The friends I made here at Iowa State are still close friends today, and a few of those ISU grads even traveled all the way here to hear me speak today. And we still support and encourage one another, just as we did when we had big hair and big aspirations. Those aspirations never included staying at a company for 35 years, living far away, packing up and moving to Germany. But as I look back on the past 35 years, I can tell you I'm most proud of the decisions that I might have been afraid to make, was it not for my experiences here at Iowa State. One of those decisions came in 2015, when I accepted a challenging role which required me to muster the bravery to move to Germany as president of Coperion, which is one of Hillenbrand's companies. At the time, I thought I was in my dream job. I was president of Batesville Casket Company. Yes, you heard me correctly, caskets, which, as you can imagine, has very little to do with the job I was being asked to pursue. Coperion has multiple facilities all over the world, but is headquartered in Stuttgart, Germany. They manufacture highly engineered processing equipment, which, again, was completely unrelated to the job I was in at the time. The population of the workforce was made up of many, many, many engineers. And since only 1 in 5 engineering degrees goes to women, you can imagine this was a very male-dominated industry, even today. I knew how to run a business, and I knew how to run the numbers, but I am not male, and I am not an engineer, and I had not worked on the machinery side of our business. I do not speak German. I like ice and air conditioning and really large parallel parking spots, and they don't have any of those. So I accepted the job. What could possibly go wrong? Now, human nature might have led me into behaving like the inexperienced, uncomfortable person I was when I arrived here at Iowa State as a young adult, experiencing things for the first time. But the experiences you have gained here will help you conquer anything. They will help you proceed with confidence. They will help you put up your sail and take to the seas. Take a minute to recognize that when you're stressed or presented with an opportunity that you may be unsure about. If I leave you with nothing else that you remember from my speech today, I hope that you will remember this: accept the job. Accept the challenge nobody else wants. If somebody says it can't be done, you be the one on the sideline figuring out how it can be done. You be the one asking, why not? And believe in yourself. Every company, university, organization, every relationship out there needs somebody like that in it. And I will tell you what my first CEO mentor told me. The best way to get your next job in your career is not to tell your boss how ready you are for it, but to do an amazing job at that job that you have. I thought my first role 35 years ago was the world's lousiest job, and I'm pretty sure it was. Maybe you'll think the same thing too about your first job, but if you do it well, somebody will give you another and another and another as you build your career of experiences. As you travel through your career, it will be important that you always be honest with yourself. 22 years into my career, I made the tough decision to leave a company that had once been our parent company. We had a new leader with a new set of core values. He was smart but unpredictable, and I found myself very weary of taking risks in that environment. I felt like leaving that role and the company was a failure. But I will tell you that one of the most important skills that you will acquire is to develop and recognize when you're not flourishing. If you start second-guessing yourself, your team will too. And then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So believe in yourself. Fake it till you make it. Or make the choice to do something different. For me, I could see it was no longer the right environment for my aspirations. When you find yourself in this situation, find the courage to make the change and remain true to your values, your core beliefs, your aspirations. What you learned here will help you do that. Trust it. Here's what I have learned. I think of my career like a pond full of lily pads. And I know that's a little hard when you're sitting in the middle of Iowa and it was 14 degrees this morning, but just stay with me for a minute. I would always lay out my career with my job aspiration. That dream job was on the other side of the pond. And I was very busy mapping every little lily pad I needed to walk across to get there. Every experience, every job. And what making that change that I just told you about taught me is that there are many ways across the pond. There are many routes to get to where you ultimately want to be. Don't be so set on mapping your path that you miss an opportunity that's to the left or to the right of what you thought you wanted to do. That is where opportunity lies. That's where self-discovery lies. I encourage you to do that. My proudest moment since becoming CEO 3 years ago was developing our company purpose. It's our North Star, it's what keeps us anchored, and what guides nearly 11,000 people at Hillenbrand every day. Identifying that purpose has provided each of us a chance to be part of something bigger than ourselves and move in coordination towards something meaningful. You have been practicing for what comes next in your life, and every day hereafter is a chance to work on who you ultimately want to be and to define your purpose. I promise you that it doesn't end when you graduate. It doesn't end when you get your first job or even your dream job. It doesn't end when you think you found your perfect partner or your perfect volunteer opportunity. But whatever it is, wherever your purpose takes you, make sure it's an environment where you can flourish. Sometimes it's in the work you do, the relationships you keep, or the change that you can impact. It's okay to have quiet aspirations of what you hope to accomplish. It may take some time to figure that out, but it's scarier still to not try. Remain honest with yourself about what you want to accomplish and what trade-offs you're willing to make to get there. You will trade your time, but never trade your values. And never trade what Iowa State has taught you, has taught all of us. Work hard, be honest and trustworthy and down to earth. Give back. Each day of your life is important because you're trading a day of your life for it. You can use each day that you've been given, you can waste it, or you can use it for good. Let it be something good in your community, in your company, and for your families and friends. This harbor called Iowa State can be a safe and comfortable environment. It's largely sheltered from the wind and the waves. It's the place where I practiced how to stay afloat and upright when things were hard or new or unpredictable. Maybe you did too over the past 4 or 5 or 6 years. Remaining in the safety of the harbor, though, is not what a boat is built for. Equally, it's not what you are built for. The time you've spent here at Iowa State has prepared you to leave the harbor and tackle the open water. And you are seaworthy. You are capable of taking on the waves ahead. You are a cyclone for life. And each of you has been building your boat since you arrived here. And it's now time to raise your sail and head out past the buoys and begin your adventure. It's terrifying, and it's exciting. And the journey ahead will be incredibly rewarding if you're open to the challenges. When you venture outside your comfort zone to the spot where you can't quite see the land anymore, just the waves. Always trust the foundation you built here at Iowa State, that it will guide you and serve as an anchor when the waves are tough. But that anchor will never hold you back. It will just keep you in place long enough to enjoy the moment until it's time for the next leg of your journey. Congratulations, class of 2024. Thank you for the extreme honor of being a part of your celebration. Congrats to all of you.
Thank you, Kim, for those thoughtful and inspiring words. We will now hear from our student brass ensemble under the direction of Dr. Michael Galimo.
President Winterstein will begin the recognition of graduates, followed by the presentation of degrees.
At this time, I call upon Senior Vice President and Provost, Dr. Jason Heath, to recognize those individuals graduating with distinction, those individuals graduating from the University Honors Program, and all of those with military service.
Thank you, President Winterstein. At this time, I would like to recognize the students who are graduating with distinction. At Iowa State, grade point averages are based on a 4.00 scale. This recognition also appears on the official transcript and university diploma. Those students graduating summa cum laude with highest distinction have earned a grade point average of 3.90 or higher, and they are wearing cardinal and gold honor cords. Will those students with highest distinction please rise? Those students graduating magna cum laude with great distinction have earned a grade point average of 3.70 to 3.89, and they are wearing gold honor cords. Will those students with great distinction please rise? Those students graduating cum laude with distinction have earned a grade point average of 3.50 to 3.69, and they are wearing cardinal honor cords. Will those students with distinction please rise? I offer you sincere congratulations on behalf of the faculty of the university. Next, I would like to recognize the students who are graduating from the University Honors Program. Students receiving this recognition have maintained a grade point average of at least 3.50, have shown initiative in developing their own individualized programs of study, and ingenuity in designing and completing an independent honors research project. They are wearing a medallion. Will those students graduating from the University Honors Program please rise? Finally, I would like to recognize all those in attendance today, graduates and audience members alike, who have served, who are serving, or who will be serving our country in the military following graduation. We are deeply grateful for your commitment and service. Would those individuals please rise as you are able so we may recognize you? Please be seated.
Dr. Keith, I now call upon you to present the candidates for bachelor's degrees.
We shall now proceed with the conferring of the undergraduate degrees and awarding of diplomas. Will all candidates for the bachelor's degrees please rise? President Winterstein, these candidates have successfully completed their curricula in their respective colleges. They have been recommended by the college faculty and the faculty senate, and they are approved by the Board of Regents, State of Iowa, for the bachelor's degree.
In recognition of the satisfactory completion of your studies in your respective colleges and by the authority delegated to me by the Iowa Board of Regents, I confer upon you your bachelor's degree. As is tradition, I now ask all bachelor's degree recipients to move their tassels from the right side to the left side of their caps. Please be seated.
The candidates from each college will walk to the side stairs, up the platform, and across the stage to be recognized. We will begin with the College of Design. Dean Luis Rico Gutierrez will present the college's student marshal to President Winterstein.
President Winterstein, Provost Keith, we're honored, extremely honored, to present our student marshal from the College of Design, Kushi Yen, who is graduating summa cum laude with a major in architecture. Kushi is escorted by a great faculty member, Ayodele Iyanalu, associate teaching professor in the Department of Architecture. While at Iowa State, Kushi held roles as transfer chair for the Honors Student Board, event coordinator for the American Institute of Architecture students, peer mentor for the Build Learning Community, treasurer for the Real Estate Development Club, and leader for the Habitat for Humanity Collegiate Challenge. Kushi was one of the was on the student team that won the Fall 2023 DLR Group Prize in the Department of Architecture, and she represented Iowa State in the NIOB Commercial Real Estate Development Competition the past 2 years. She also studied in Italy with the College of Design's 2024 summer program and interned with architecture firms in Ames and New Jersey. After graduation, Kushi will relocate to New Jersey and pursue licensure as an architect. Please join me in congratulating Kushi and all the amazing students from the College of Design.
Lindsay Page Wilson.
Alexander Aaron Anderson.
Meyer Loeb.
Caitlin Marie Aiken.
Devon Fredericks.
Fatima Almamid.
Lily Mercural.
Kiana Rose Lechtenberg.
Tristan Doney.
Ashley Pomenvan Boone.
Evan Short.
Zena Ann Casey.
Andrew Michael Barrett.
Kristen Ann Pica.
Jennifer Lee.
Drew T. Carroll.
Colleen Cagle.
Gianni Gambucci.
Theophil Ephraim Kanye.
James B. Stoltz.
Emily Elizabeth Hickson.
Daniel M. Rossi.
Khaled Saeed Albari Salem Alameri.
Christopher M. Rafford.
Lauren Hopkins.
Samuel Andrew Schroet.
Anna Sanders.
Michael J. Romano.
Cade Broberg.
Seth Thomas Hansen.
Thomas Richard Piles.
Emily L. Margelowis.
Jacob Ryan Kalaki.
Amber N. Braniff.
Tyson Bradley Thompson.
Carly Sue Flynn.
Kobe Dean Peters.
Cora Edwards.
Carson Fogelsong.
Ryan Dean Nichols.
Ellie Ward.
Allison Margaret Lester.
Tyler Jason Ruiz.
Ethan Robert Dahl.
Devin James Mead.
Rafe Henry Miller.
Manpremal Darod.
Olivia Nadine Fisher.
Lincoln L. Banyas.
Trevor John Hughes.
Charles Silitka.
Thomas Robert Lawman.
Valentin Rosario.
Connor Woods.
Reese Engelmeyer.
Vidad Kovacevic.
Lal Ro Chara.
Xander Ryan Carver.
Alex Wilson.
Elliot Robert Alberhaski.
Braden Christopher Riggs.
Ethan Osorio.
Hallie Collins.
Jackson J. Norgard.
Emily Robertson.
Braden A. Castle. Dal Lam Tung. Twa Re. Dresden Jean Eldridge.
We're in the middle of business right now, so we need to introduce business. We haven't introduced
James Thomas Rolsgaard. Matthew D. Liba. Peyton Michael Colvin. Caleb Andrew Scott. Joseph David Carley. Sabrina Vongpundi.
Next, graduates from the Ivy College of Business. Dean David Spaulding will present the college's student marshal to President Winterstein.
Hello. President Winterstein, Provost Keith, it's my honor to present the student marshal from the Ivy College of Business, Emily Matulak, who is escorted today by Bruce Kraft, Professor of Practice in the Department of Finance. Emily is graduating summa cum laude with a double major in finance and management. During her time at Iowa State, Emily served as president of the Multicultural Business Network for 2 years and as an Ivy ambassador for 3 years, hosting recruitment events for prospective students. She worked as a lead peer mentor for business learning teams and as a travel manager for the Iowa State wrestling team. Emily participated in the Ivy Emerging Leaders Program and Jardine Leaders Academy and was inducted into Beta Gamma Sigma, the Business Honor Society. Ivy is truly a better college for all of the contributions that Emily made. Emily completed 3 summer internships with industry-leading organizations. She worked as a credit risk and loan operations intern at Bankers Trust, Iowa's largest privately owned bank, and completed a finance internship at Collins Aerospace the following summer. Since May 2023, Emily has worked as a financial analyst intern at Principal Financial Group in Des Moines and Raleigh, North Carolina. After graduation, Emily will join Principal full-time as a financial analyst 2 in the company's financial analyst rotational program. Please join me in congratulating Emily and all of the Ivy graduates today. Congratulations, all the best.
Abigail Page Wellman.
Victor W. Huang.
Olivia Heindel.
Sophia Grace Modoff.
Ryan Alexander Ellsworth.
Logan James Conway.
Luke Sponsler.
Luciano R. Bertagnoli.
Joseph Richard Burns.
Anthony John Schmid.
Chad Stewart Settle.
Jameson Allen Goldap.
Benjamin Leshin.
Christopher Howard Brown.
Carly Elizabeth Bruns.
Claire Neighbor.
Allison Marie Anderson.
Jack Peter Hogeland.
Nisha Dolakia.
Evan Eric Payne.
Matthew Eric Brammer.
Funuel John Fry.
Nolan Rosengren.
Akin Tamiwa Uduwaye.
Sarah Berenbrook.
Hunter Grant Tretter.
Paige Nicole Cresswell.
Michael Karbowski.
Allison Grace Major.
O'Neill B. Daniels.
Sean Wasong Chan.
Ryan J. McClintock.
Natalie Chen Jing Kaur.
Elizabeth Gregorica.
Kishan Patel.
Maya Renee Ziegenhorn.
Jaden Elizabeth Reed.
Mallory Cadence Mulligan.
Tegan Hope Long.
Kayla Marie Hoskins.
Alexis A. Link.
Lauren Faye Wiskus.
Nathaniel Weil Oriana Adams.
Jordan Nicole Millhouse.
Eli McKinty.
Ernesto A. Irahita Lara.
Walter Messerly.
Trey Jeffrey Lyons.
Braden Matthew Mays.
Luke C. Leon.
Aush Parikh.
Amra Mrkanich.
Daniel Rashawn White.
Whitney M. Rebsberg.
Audra Wilkinson.
Kelly E. Seeloff.
Miles Daniel Fazadin.
Colby Owen Bush.
Rosie Ariel Banda Rivera.
Jack Reeser.
Amanda Jean Needon Olson.
Will Frederick Cooper.
Brooke Lundy.
Aidan Martin Hall.
Grace Erdesy.
Lucas Jean Cordell.
Noah Anthony Hitchborn.
Leighton James Tank.
Alexa V. Robertson Wise.
Rihanna Joan Roosh.
Samantha Luann Trost.
Jordan Nicole Miller.
Destiny Tejan Petsampan.
Joshua W. Graves.
Jake Lewis.
Parker Tade Ash.
Cora Christine Frowine.
Kevin Muralakrishnan.
Sophia G. Barbary.
Medan Savandi Chinat Thevar.
Vignesh Mohan.
Sakath Kumar Kola.
Colin M. Hackett.
Fawaz Pir Jamal.
Alex Gergely.
Madeline Hope Lindholm. Carly Lynn Cooper.
Samson Y. Goitum.
Nicholas Dean Engel.
Nathan Ian Ung.
Dane Jackson Fuller.
Adzik Hazem.
Varsha Reddy Pesaru.
Matias Ivan Caballero Elorreaga.
Saketh Mahavadi.
Ruben David Tapia Juarez.
David Michael Chan.
Kent L. Bui.
Abigail S. Dagg.
Raylene Long.
Elizabeth Aaron Pierce.
Leon Michael Makovec.
Allie M. Ford.
Keely Donald Chaplin.
Peter Bunchan Svongsai.
Jacob Menchaca.
Nathan Bakken Mertis.
Karen Chavez.
Denise Hernandez.
Zachary Samuel Willens.
V.T. Hun.
Aiden James Eashog.
Perla Nunez.
Joshua Michael Hecht.
Isabella Cartagena.
Hunter Keith Pope.
Zeynep Elif Ozalton.
Jessica Baker.
Brian Mack Stewart.
Caleb Joseph Otting.
Carly J. Bown.
Jack Norbert Snyder.
Juliana Victoria Munoz.
Grant Strop.
Dia Cherie Martels.
Alexander Rene Jimenez. Alex Michael Bunn. Pradyum Bukaputnam. Emma Irene Fulton. Monica Christina Colon. Caden Robert Back. Ulawanda Miola Mi Ajibola. Kate J. Polich. Rachel Chinyama. Elizabeth Fawn. Mehdi Sebgeti. And now graduates from the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences. Dean Daniel Robeson will present the college's student marshal to President Winterstein.
President Winterstein, Provost Keith, I am privileged to present Madison Vetter as the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences Student Marshal. Madison is graduating cum laude with a Bachelor of Science in Biology. She is passionate about helping fellow students succeed and served as an undergraduate biology tutor in the Academic Success Center. Madison spent a year gaining research experience in Dr. Don Sakaguchi's lab, focusing on cell and tissue engineering and research. Following graduation, she plans to work and volunteer in the healthcare field before applying for medical school. She wants to say a special hello to her brother, Chris. Madison is escorted by Sarah Weiner, who is Madison's academic advisor and learning community coordinator in biology. Please join me in congratulating Madison on behalf of all the students in the College of Ag and Life Sciences.
Ashley Diane Henneman.
Caleb Noble.
Hannah Bedwell.
Siandra Lynn Kowalski.
Catherine Ann Winter.
Catherine Jean Koenig.
Isabella Grace Lencool.
Jade Seeger.
Leah Jean Skippers.
Renee Plasman.
Anna Grace Chance.
Zachary Colton Grazier.
Kristen Michelle Hinga.
Nathan K. Erickson.
Emily Lopez.
Austin Bullman.
Allison Lee Smith.
Katie Alexis Miller-Verdine.
Jorge F. Rodriguez.
Lauren Morris.
Brock Thompson.
Josiah Vega Johnson.
Cole Werner.
Caleb Evan Herrick.
Quentin Slater.
Logan Willard Payne.
Morgan E. Kazmerzak.
Patrick Ryan Pendleton.
Lila Roos.
Ryan Daniel Jaskowski.
Madison Haitian McVeigh.
Clayton Ross Maneth.
Aiden B. Gorishek Richardson.
Dakota Arthur Waterhouse.
Jillian Marie Anderson.
Michael Allen Musil.
Zachary Ty Riederman.
Vanessa Raven Breedlove.
Lauren Nicole Butler.
Olivia Carlin Smika.
Gunder Howe.
Bella Myworm.
Alex Jeffrey Cecil.
Erin Jessica Alexander.
Elizabeth Carol Severson.
Mariah Molerlovic.
Lincoln Kale Yoder.
Liani Maldonado.
Abigail Simpson.
Samantha Lee Notaboom.
McKenna Ashton Hogan.
Catherine Jo Carlisle.
Tanner Patrick Curtin.
Catherine Marie Cubbage.
Maxwell M. McClure.
Nicholas Pratt.
Logan Lewis Eubanks.
Andrew Liborio Hokinson.
Carter Reginald Knutson.
Haley Seafrig.
Abigail Rose Belcher.
Megan Rose Sherber.
Faith Dean Keel.
Lauren Lee Schaefer.
Johanna Sowers.
Megan Byert.
Isabella Hartshorn.
Lily Leiser.
Valerie Rosales.
Amanda Ritland.
Brett Bacam.
Madison Josephine Funk.
Erin Marie Hemphill.
Jade Renee Cox.
Kylie Allen.
Vai Tuong Nguyen.
Morgan Baker.
Thomas Siemens.
Emily Nibel.
Finn Blight.
Shelby Lynn Beckman.
Gabrielle Elizabeth Herbs.
Jocelyn Sue Esther Melvin.
Jacob Allen Reinhardt.
Kendra Jean Huseman.
Robert Edmund Schaefer.
Hannah Grace Bunt.
Carly Meyer.
Chloe Anne Marie Otto.
Abigail Hibba.
Caitlin Nicole Maines.
Victoria Lynn Wildeman.
Allison K. Abbas.
Ashlyn Naomi Huff.
Jason Scandifio.
Samuel Neil Brewster.
Eva Marie Chauvin.
Electra Morgana Lee Bassi.
Haley Rossmiller.
Kylie Jo Glover.
Piper Wise.
Jessica Diane Lathrop.
Ashlyn Claire Hobble.
Anna Grace Overman.
Nathan Allen Moore.
Brenna Xiaowei Hartsey.
Joshua Woolfolk.
Josephine Hyatt.
Avery Keenan.
Mackenzie E. Fisher.
Vanis Chong.
Cale Robert Rowley.
Kelsey E. Smith Hernandez.
Christian Henricks.
Ashley Lynn Marker.
Tyler E. Bortolazzo.
Kate Marie Suter.
John H. Gresham.
Amelia Grace Trena.
Madison Lynn Steef.
Sarah Diane Nelson.
Hannah Kelly Greamy.
Alexander D. Trush.
Alexandria Faith Washington.
Barrick Summerlot.
Dylan Douglas Bappy.
Drake Thomas Oswald.
Logan Patrick Schoening.
Parker Fry.
Adam David Hoy.
Benjamin Q. McDonald.
Joseph James McCartan.
Cody Klein.
Logan Kent Thompson.
Heather Elizabeth Cernek.
Hayden Louise Calendine.
Emma Maxine Kilsmeyer.
Emily G. Caspers.
JC Cody.
Taylor L. Yordi.
Brian Martinez Flores.
Sylvia Scriver.
Insik Jung.
Hannah Zool.
Weijia Pang. Nellie Kitetsi. Tanner Scott Edwards. And now, graduates from the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. Dean Benjamin Withers will present the college's student marshal to President Winterstein.
Good afternoon. President Winterstein, Provost Keith, the first student to receive a diploma from the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences is our student marshal, Madeline Becker. Madeline is graduating summa cum laude with a double degree in economics and political science, while concurrently pursuing a Master of Science in Economics and graduating in 3.5 years. Madeline has demonstrated her leadership roles as President and Education Vice President of Gamma Phi Beta Sorority Chapter, resulting in the House rising from 5th to 2nd point in grade point average across campus. She's also served as Director of Governmental Affairs for the Government of the Student Body, representing Iowa State students at local, state, and federal levels. In addition to her campus leadership roles, Madeline has completed 3 internships in Washington, D.C. As a congressional intern, as a business integration summer intern, and most recently as an economics intern with the White House Council of Economic Advisors. These achievements, in addition to many research opportunities that Madeline has participated in since her freshman year, are a testament to her success and her expansive involvement within the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences and Iowa State University. Madeline's future plans are to be a financial business analyst with Deloitte Consulting and then attend law school in fall of 2027. Then she hopes to find a career in public policy consulting or crisis management. Madeline is escorted by Darren Wolgamuth, Associate Teaching Professor in the Department of Economics. So please join me in congratulating Madeline and all our graduates today.
Joshua R. Allen.
Aaliyah Grace Worth and Windsor.
Michaela Kafer.
Bryce Brueggemann.
Gus Dale Pope.
Abumathi G. Krishnan.
Katie Jane Richards.
Zeynep Ogan.
Cody Lee Lampman.
Nicholas X. Gonzalez.
Zachary Flushman.
Santana Morgan Green.
Garrett Carlson.
Parker Dean Anderson.
Abhi Sanjay Mehta.
Morgan Y. Bartholomew.
Rishikesha Kyandasandra.
Katie Lott.
Dylan Anthony Kepley.
Nathan Couch.
Lauren Smid.
Bryce Stephen Allen.
Jade Eilif.
Jordan Matthew Wells.
Brittany Bakam.
Ellie Nicole Scarborough.
Faith Ann Rains.
Emily Grace Sin.
Nicholas M. Lepick.
Lacey M. Dolan.
Merlin Melisa Romero Bonilla.
Brandon James Kester.
Isabel Monaco.
Jaden Allen Dorenkamp.
Tegan Lee Wilcox.
Nancy Joy Hirschberger.
Rui Feng Chang.
Rebecca Grace Epp.
Lena Bo.
Emma Hoover Grindy.
Angelina M. Silva.
Katie Mary Ann Valkoski.
Kendall Michelle Bray.
Cooper James McKee.
Adela Pivonkova.
Kerwin Case Shaw.
Gabriel Stan Frew.
Ryan Marshall Ledbetter.
Bryn Olivia Gruber.
Dino Kapik.
Alyssa R. Rouse.
Michaela Bronson.
Emily Durbala.
Marisa G. Burke.
Morgan DeHard.
Bryn Van Horn.
Mia Harang.
Rachel Marie Gant.
Carissa Riley.
Jackson Andrew Smith.
Iris Lizette Martinez.
Emma G. Vojak.
Jalen Ernst.
Emma Catherine Jernigan.
Brianna Rose Williams.
Payne Blazevich.
Madeline Grace Cole.
David J. Shapanik.
Natalie Jo Weber.
Elijah Brady.
Hannah Daup.
Tyson John Carenza.
Grace Angel.
Edwin Patrick Callanan.
Vanessa Lynn Whitehead.
Olivia L. Hahn.
Isabella Maxine Eipert.
Delaney Lee Geddes.
Sydney Crowley.
Ethan J. Norgard.
Megan Elizabeth Jenkins.
Michael Rohan Kumar.
Lauren Olivia Lucas.
McAllen Claire Cheever.
Mia J. Gammett.
Macy A. Moraine.
Avery M. Keegan.
Julissa Christina Delgado.
Riley King.
Madison Ann Adair Liss.
Sophia Kozlovich.
Quinn Caroline Kelly.
Josu Rodriguez.
Kira Rachel Richards.
Donovan Burns.
Isaiah R. Taylor.
Brandon C. Coppinger.
Dante M. Patterson.
Violet Lillian Middlecoff.
Josiah Shulka.
Tessa Caitlin Hill.
Sydney Ann Eichenberg.
Isabel Ann Pollacky.
Skylar Ray Imuna.
Nayeli Hernandez Lopez.
Emma Elizabeth Michaels.
Josephine Lynn Cross.
Nicholas Allen Lee.
Gracie Malvina Morin.
Hannah Catherine Russell.
Samantha M. Randleman.
Emma Elizabeth Bryan.
Madison Grace Omtwite.
Madeline N. Turpin.
Jocelyn Rowe Kleesner.
Benjamin C. Kelly.
Mason Holman.
Nathan Hughes.
Camila A. Medina Arias.
Nina Ann Schendal.
Brian Long Kurtz.
Josie Lynn Christensen.
Ethan Dean Still.
Mia Esperanza Silva.
Perla Maria Reveles.
Tristan Heff.
Jaden Clark Luce.
Jonathan D. Gonzalez.
Adam Wheeler.
Juliet Grace Thompson.
Anton Martin Kordick.
Vivienne Bay Skinner.
Wilson Chu.
Jillian D. Lighting.
Vanessa Ramirez Jimenez.
Hannah Elizabeth Kruzich.
Kadeen Adza.
Shay Bethany Olthoff.
Cassidy Overby.
Claire Isabel Wills.
Henry William Bowerly.
Eleanor C. Pelletier.
Caleb John J.
Maya B. Silvius.
Clayton Lee Davis.
Nicole Gieser.
Jacob Daniel Gorman.
Isabella Herdliska.
Gabrielle Marie Comstock.
Mackenzie May Steffens.
DJ Daniel Myers.
Aurora Trudell.
Mariana Esmeralda Chavez.
Hannah Moleo.
Morgan Ann Knowlton.
Morgan R. Stuckey.
Vincent Lee.
McKenna L. Nemec.
Benjamin D. Avila.
Ryan James Nagao.
Jada Lee Geyser.
Olivia Van Waus.
Jackie Rodriguez.
Bryn Schultheis.
Wade Williams Cisco.
Catherine Churts.
Brooklyn Danielle Kelly.
Stephen D. Marlowe.
Maxine Grace Weldon.
Luke Jeffrey Lilienthal.
Jacqueline J. Sorensen.
Alice Alicia Kessler.
Evan Dwayne Behrens.
Jada Blood Wilson.
Seth Andrew Watkin.
Tehran Pandaraga.
Jacelyn Ryhard.
Mackenzie Lynn Hayden.
Kimberly Jeanette Garcia.
Allison Sue Lambin.
Catherine Irene Mason.
Connor Glenn Gully. Bailey Grace Knaus. Blake Michael Bryan. Samuel Curtis. Sarah Peterson. Rodrigo Santa Maria. Jordan P. Niles. Joshua David Poe. Parker James Helgath. Brady Reffel Bargan. Patrick Michael Feely. Paven Canute. Carson Ronk. Abigail R. Whitehead. Alexander Wennis.
Next, graduates from the College of Health and Human Services. Dean Laura Jolly will present the college's student marshal to President Winterstein.
President Winterstein and Provost Keith, the first student to receive a diploma from the College of Health and Human Sciences is our university student marshal, Cameron Mosty, escorted today by Emily Worrell, a PhD candidate in apparel, merchandising, and design. Cameron is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Apparel, Merchandising, and Design. An exceptional student in the classroom, she achieved a 4.0 grade point average and is graduating summa cum laude. Her leadership has been critical to the success of our student-run store, Innovate 1858. Cameron has also led teams with Trend Magazine and the Fashion Show. Cameron is the definition of an innovative entrepreneur and started her own business this fall. The brand is an online vintage clothing store where she curates a high-quality selection of vintage apparel and leads all aspects of the business. After graduation, Cameron will start her career in Minneapolis. Graduates of the College of Health and Human Sciences combine strong academic rigor and hands-on experience with a passion for improving the lives of those around them. Congratulations to our Fall 2024 graduates.
Kiana Kaftusian,
Edine Muminovich,
Brock Matthew Moore,
Jonathan Acevedo,
Leah Marie Cash,
Klein Russell Clarkson,
Olivia Ann Carone,
Justin K. Jacobs,
Ashley Yovanov,
Olivia J. Bell,
Riley Sash,
Natalie C. Myers,
Tiffany Norman,
Sydney Colette King,
Arlie Landau,
Candace Colleen Danner,
Rachel Kaut,
Kate Ann Roth,
Tyler Mills,
Cassidy Horn,
William Henry Judge,
Lauren Donnelly,
Jacob Paulus,
Lauren Nicole Hines,
Samantha Bowles,
Joanna Wendy Gomez,
Abigail Grace Gorsney,
Onam N. Feroz,
Addison Faith Hensley,
Brinkley Laura Pollock,
Sarah Catherine Fricks,
Ella Jo Spike,
Morgan Danae Hoy,
Jimena Gomez,
Margaret Claire Baniff,
Laura Brockhoff,
Carter David Reddle,
Kylie R. Greenwood,
Jacob R. Sterling,
Nagaitan T. Deo,
Caitlin Danella Maher,
Kyungyun Michelle Na,
Juliana Cousinier,
Christabel E. Forney,
Curtis William Palmer,
Bradley James Andrews,
Nicholas Brian Marovitz,
Evelyn R. DeBoer,
Abigail M. Zimmer,
Stanislav Mikhailovich Kutzel,
Tatum M. Lillibridge,
Olivia Grace Corns,
Brandy Pay,
Claire Denise Copper,
Lydia Rogers,
Kylie D. Angel,
Jordan Lynn Anderson,
Kane E. Fox,
Rana L. James,
Hector A. De La Cruz,
Kelsey Ann Woodland,
Maxim Cruz Martin,
Tara Lynn Beards,
Noah David John Yetz,
Corinne Elizabeth Jason.
Luke Andrew Sauceda.
Denali Elizabeth Conover.
Gabriela Aponte Sosa.
Megan Renee Tullis.
Alexandra Johanna Doty.
Hannah Lee Wide.
Alyssa Noel Hoover.
Carissa Haley Stevenson.
Lauren I. England.
Caitlin Ann Thomas.
Bree Beyer.
Jonathan O. Babayode.
Keely Brooke Holt.
Yue Yan Chang.
Natalie Rhodes.
Phoebe Jia Un Chong. And finally, graduates from the College of Engineering. The Samuel Easterling will present the college's student marshal to President Winterstein.
President Winterstein, Provost Keith, it's my privilege to present the student marshal from the College of Engineering, Katie Wolf from Cedar Rapids, escorted by Dr. Henry Dewey. Katie's graduating with a 3.97 in computer engineering with 3 minors: cybersecurity, mathematics, and Chinese studies. Katie served as a teaching assistant, facilitating lab sessions in a computer architecture course for more than 100 students each semester. She was also a member of the Digital Women Club and the Student Affairs Student Advisory Board. Katie completed 4 internships, 2 at Collins Aerospace and 2 at Oracle. After graduation, Katie plans to work as a software engineer at Oracle in California. Congratulations, Katie, and all of our outstanding graduates from the College of Engineering. Katie,
Brenda Angelica Laura.
Tyler Charles Swears.
Daniel Stutz.
Kyle Whitty.
Holden Brown.
Isaac Christopher Nichols.
Ty Lutke.
John D. Warren.
Annabelle Lee Behrens.
Gage Austin Mormon.
Caitlin Todesco.
Jason Gadzon Shia.
Emily Grace Evans.
Garrett Thomas.
Ricardo Jaime Herrera.
Anthony P. Cuttle.
Blake Lincoln Schulte.
Nicholas Andrew Young.
Nicholas Parker Johnson.
Andrew Schwartz.
Kyle Joseph Young.
Caden Joseph Menser.
Declan Connor Green.
Casey Jean Michelson.
Mitchell William Stroby.
Colton M. Kingery.
Benjamin Arthur Marmaras.
Nathan John Draus.
Michael John Miller.
Na Re.
Gerald A. McCarrick.
Bradley E. Walls.
Kenneth Kirkpatrick.
Nate Moldy.
Jocelyn Burns.
Christopher J. Hollingshed.
Henry Gibbons.
Caleb Ryan Kingery.
Mukesh Johnny.
Michael William Pove.
James Arthur White.
Anthony Michael Stogdill.
Abdullah Saeed Alamoudi.
Vincent Tron.
Mitchell James Hooker.
Joseph Douglas Hovick.
Ava Louise Swanson.
Evan Gregory Smith.
Ryan Anthony Leddett.
Ethan Taylor Douglas.
Nathan Matthew Patel.
Michael Timothy Hurley.
Jacob Leif Schoenenberg.
Blake Allen Shea.
Casey James Colbeck.
Zachary Michael Colley.
Braden Michael Petrie.
Nathan Carl Herting.
Mitchell James Lutz.
Sean Keegan Gregory.
Maxwell J. Dransick.
Mary Beth Westerkamp.
Michael J. Partol.
Brandon A. Klink.
Aaron Daniel Ginger.
Vanessa Marie Hupp.
Emily Ann White.
Jacob Rielfs.
Caitlin Ann Navy.
Dewan K. Roberson.
Mason Lane Lubin.
Joshua Curtis Holliday.
Caitlin Christine Holtz.
Chandrasekhar Tirunangiri.
Madison Karamajanis.
Aryan Rao.
Brian C. Witherspoon.
Mason Jensen.
Sarah Nicole Ebert.
Greg Carter.
Kennedy Reiling.
Abigail Rose Modisette.
Derek Elkins.
Ashley Jean Larson.
Jonathan Wilson Tim.
Kara Elizabeth Albright.
Michael Randy Thomas.
Peyton Pomeroy.
Patrick K. Musai.
Mariah A. Colteritis.
Nathan James Tegler.
Sydney Wetlaufer.
Seth Atkinson.
Chase M. O'Connell.
Mackenzie Francis Ray.
Octavia Grimes.
Anders Ewald Peterson.
Nima Masumi.
Drew Anton Jensen.
Zechariah Guy.
Ethan John Raid.
Neil Liang.
Santiago Andres Campoverde.
Dallin Hecker.
Grant DeWay.
Tin Quang Yo.
Kevin Joseph Dickey.
Harris Khan.
Nicholas M. Vasquez.
Anna Marie Huggins.
Christy S. Metri.
Alex Frederick Schweer.
Eileen Mode.
Piper L. Eidecker.
Shiran Subedi.
Aaron Duan.
Michael John D. Cook.
David Allen Scouten.
Daniel Eduardo Rivera.
Caden R. Kelly.
Andrew Francis Osama.
Ethan T. Haberer.
Evan P. Schlarman.
Mary B. Olsberg.
Sri Charan Guramkonda.
Luke Joseph Smalley.
Braden Allen Lamb.
Joseph David Allers.
Nikhil Venkata Kurichetti.
Sean Patrick Peters.
Natalie Canessa.
Tony Jacob Langle.
Justin Robert Garden.
Jack William Murray.
Mehmet Bariran Sefer.
Maximo Kellogg.
Karan Mamadou Senyov.
Cassidy Ann Wolf.
Ashley K. Barrett.
Sydney Ferber.
Anthony Augustus Werner.
Parker Schmitz.
Lauren Delbert.
Caleb Maurice Lemons.
Nicole Karina Burr.
Tavian Dane Harrington.
Joshua J. Sarniak.
Carson R. Props.
Nicholas Otto.
Griffin Ellis.
Kai Heng Gan.
Colin Reed Seveny.
Justin William Wenzel.
Luke Donald Zillig.
Zachary Stephen Tipler.
Jason Todd Zonley.
Paul David Malinky.
Charlie Miller.
Grudvi Navanath Pelnikar.
William Allen Clemens.
Justin T. Pope.
Connor James Payne.
Cameron F. Jones.
Connor James Conlon.
Jacob Carlson.
Walker Owen Wodars.
Logan Shelby.
Edson Caleb Lopez.
Logan Garrick Wessel.
Mateo Felipe Rubel.
Ellie E. Midtower.
Connor Leroy Wilford.
Edward Chumbly.
Nahal Koyakunju Zahir.
Pranav Raghunath.
Paul John Jeeve.
Evan Michael Clutch.
Ka Hoa Chow.
Jin Yang So.
Dan Kong Huang.
Jake William Nelson.
James L. Stoltz.
Soren Christian Peterson.
Hunter A. Martin.
Adam Joseph Olesha.
David Andrew King.
Joey M. Kramer.
Lisa Helen Torde.
Taylor Barnhart.
Oksana Petrovna Grudanov.
Alex Lynn Brown.
Julia Kropper.
William S. Nash.
Nolan Hendrickson.
Quinn Carnish.
Logan L. Shadle.
Alexander David Kovar.
Joseph Henry Hadding.
Joseph Stephen Sink.
Mohammed Bilal Riaz.
Michael Allen Jacks Jr.
Sean Matthew Harris.
Dennis Tezago.
Jordan Lee Reiswig.
Anthony J. Manchula.
Jackson Tyler Mullen.
Kate O'Connor Ryan.
Jacob Christopher Park.
Joseph Dicklin.
Derek Alexander Thompson.
Luke Evan Gatos.
Joshua R. Anderson.
Laura Lowe.
Lucas Robert Ramey.
Braden Scott Miller.
Jennifer Elizabeth Bruner.
Nathaniel Raymond Paul Reynolds.
Leanne J. Joseph Jock.
Maria Denise Schiffer.
Zhao Ren Tan.
Nathan Harold Faber.
Ashlyn Sim.
Connor Ray Cook.
Yi Jia Tai.
Blake Donlin.
Holly Angela Jacobs.
Roger Stephen Claude.
Lauren Louise Stoffer.
Erin Edith Clary.
Sarah Holscher.
Liam Broderick Janda.
Ryan Reese DeLang.
Nicholas Allen Knobloch.
Nicholas Bennett.
Caleb Mark Kilby.
Adriana Virginia Patino.
Ashton Marcus Baker.
Pietro Vanini.
Aiden Conlon.
Robert Thomas Downs.
Roxana Ariola.
George Cleaver.
Nathan Koch.
Samuel Antonio Estrada.
Marali Krishna Patibunla.
Carter John Miller.
William Frederick Odgen.
Jason Allen Christensen.
Cade Austin Schramnick.
Anthony Michael Manuzza.
Joseph Michael Beresheim.
Andrew Thomas Cole.
James Edward France.
Kyle James Gilbert.
Dana Ann Love.
Alex Christopher Hoagland.
And Marie Jean Hummel.
Adam C. Schoberg.
Matthew David Wells.
Henry Edward Chamberlain.
Adam Weber.
Nathan Christopher Tomes.
John Vito Beasley.
Braden Dean Buckaloo.
William Donald Strofe.
Andrew McMahon.
Carter McCann.
Andy Odobisek.
Jennifer Culver.
Brandon Lloyd Buller.
Bethany Joe Gross.
Nicholas Doty.
Ian Michael Flahive.
Callista Danielle Lenners.
Kelvin Eusebio Plaus.
Joshua Theodore Cramp.
Seth Allen Paulson.
Vincent J. Yanis.
Connor Patrick Hollerbush.
Graham Robert Allison.
Evan Schneider.
Ryan James McFadden.
Sarah B. Mum.
Brendan William McBride.
Ethan Scott Ellis.
Christopher G. Palacios.
Flora Kafunda.
Bridget Esther Andrews.
Jason Nathaniel Melnick. Jonathan I. Raimundo.
Catherine Halbstrom.
Tristan Guy Pelkey.
Carson Thomas Trammell.
Alex C. Geisert.
Khalid Mohammed Al-Nashri.
Isabel L. Erickson.
Logan Schmidt.
Danielle Judith Mullen.
Gage A. Emlin.
Chase Trigg.
Mubasir Sernabat Sudipto.
Joseph M. Crosgrove.
Joshua F. Duchek.
Brandon Christian Reed.
Mason Richard Cisneros.
Ryan Cook.
Adam John Everhart.
Ritwish A. Kumar.
Derek Brandt.
Brian Christopher Foret.
Mitchell J. Stabenow.
Gabe Christian Schultz.
Taylor Ann Johnson.
Anthony Paul Habercorn.
Alexander Peter Bashara.
Braden Henry Wakefield.
Vaughn J. Miller.
Mohammed Bashir.
Kent Joseph DeBena.
Matthew Lokes.
Christopher Edward Merica.
Mitchell D. Driscoll.
Ryan David Sloan.
Garrett Mark McCall.
Reed Thomas Coates.
Alexis Jordan Anderson.
James Kelly Driscoll.
Addison Kathleen Mertens.
Alexander S. Hassan.
Eli Olmstead.
Daniel James Gronke.
Alec Quinlan Sutton.
Mason Patrick Waddleworth.
Cullen Harvey White.
Tianyu Lee.
Matthew Isaac Robinson.
Burke Michael Weber.
Jaden Caleb Donabeyer.
Jonah M. DeRose.
Dalton Ray Hall.
Heemin So.
Aiden Trimble. And Cameron Drake Cheezick.
On behalf of the entire university community, I extend my sincerest congratulations to all of our graduates. We wish you the very best and look forward to hearing from you about all of your accomplishments. Now it is my pleasure to introduce you to Dr. Jeffrey Johnson, Laura and Russ Talbot, endowed President and CEO of the Iowa State University Alumni Association. He will welcome you as the newest alumni of Iowa State.
Thank you, President Winterstein. Greetings, Iowa State University's newest alumni, members of the class of 2024. You are now mine. You are now officially Cyclones for life. You now carry the official title of Iowa State University alumni. Yes, you are now and forever one of us. Today, you are moving from an on-campus family of more than 31,000 students to a global family of more than 296,000 alumni. These alumni colleagues are living in and working to make their communities greater in every county of Iowa, the other 49 states of the U.S., and more than 170 countries. My staff and I are committed to being here for you from today forward to help keep you well connected to each other and other Iowa State alumni and friends, as well as to inspire you through the stories of your alumni colleagues, present you future opportunities as Iowa State alumni, and serve you through exciting programs and services. You are an important member of the Iowa State family, and our ultimate goal is to provide you with alumni connections as we work together to elevate Iowa State and Iowa Staters. To get your alumni journey started, a group of donors made gifts to fund a one-year gifted membership for each one of you. That's right, each one of you is eligible to receive an already paid for one-year exclusive membership to all the benefits, services, and opportunities connected to the Iowa State University Alumni Association. I think that deserves an applause of gratitude. Thank you. To make this offer official, there's one thing the donors asked the association to do and one thing they are asking of you. They asked the association to make it simple for you to access and accept this exclusive gift membership. They're asking you to simply activate your gift membership, and you can do that as soon as possible by going to the association's website, isualum.org. Please do so today or by December 31st. Now, we will send you an email with this information as a helpful reminder, so please promise me that you won't delete your first email from me. Once you activate this gifted membership, you will gain access to a plethora of tools that will help you navigate your alumni journey, such as the online alumni directory that connects you with alumni in your community, the Iowa Stater magazine, which will be exclusive to Alumni Association members, online discounts, new grad tip sheets and programs, special member invitations to webinars, and more. So now please follow these 5 things and remember them. No matter what you do or where you go, you will always be a member of this prestigious higher education family. This university and all who work here will always be interested in what you do, how you continue to contribute to society, and what you become. 2, make Iowa State visible in your daily lives. Wear your school colors, sport a license plate or a license plate cover, display your diploma, and place an Alumni Association membership decal on your vehicle. By doing these simple acts, you're sure to connect with other Iowa Staters on your new journey. Alumni help fund building projects. They invested in your faculty and programs. They also invested in you through scholarships, conference attendance, and other ways. You and the alumni of the future will largely determine what your children, your grandchildren, and others will find when they matriculate to Iowa State. So when you're able, please consider giving back. 4th, keep in touch. Come back to visit campus. take road trips with your college buddies, and join a local alumni club. If you have a change of address, be sure to let the association know in order that we may put you in touch with other alumni in your new community. Finally, and most importantly, renew the gifted membership a year from now to continue your journey as an Iowa State University alum. You're going to want to stay an active member. In closing, and with every good wish for your success, health, and happiness, on behalf of the staff and board of the Iowa State University Alumni Association, we look forward to becoming partners with you in helping you advance your careers, enhance your degrees, stay connected to your colleges, support your alma mater, and network with Cyclones everywhere. Again, congratulations to the class of 2024, and remember, you are now Cyclones for life. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. I want to offer my personal congratulations to all of today's graduates. We are extremely proud of you and all you have accomplished. We also want to recognize the hard work of all those individuals who have supported these graduates, the faculty and staff, family members, and friends. Would everyone rise to celebrate our graduates? Would you all rise to celebrate our graduates as well? Everyone, would you please rise? And now for the perfect Instagram moment, let's release the streamers. And would everyone remain standing with the singing of the Bells of Iowa State by student vocalist Miss Allie Pauley, and I pronounce the Fall 2024 Undergraduate Commencement Ceremony at close.
Please join me in singing the Bells of Iowa State. You can find the music on the back of your program.
everybody. Thank you.